Good morning everyone and welcome to Weekly Update, starting off with breaking news.
Jeff Conaway and the car known as Grease Lightning are forever linked, so it's only fitting that during the week he passed away, a famous car collector acquired one of the famous rides. Volo Auto Museum in Illinois have been trying to get their hands on one of the famous cars from Greece for years and just this week completed a deal to get one. The museum was able to find one of the cars used in a movie at a restoration shop in California. The owner passed away while it was still being worked on. Conaway's history with the fabled car is a dark one. He said that he was dropped during the filming of the Grease Lightning scene.
Schools have pulled raw vegetables from menus and piles of cucumbers sit untouched on shop shelves, and farmers say they're losing millions. As scientists scramble to find the source of an E. coli outbreak linked to raw vegetables that has killed 18 in Europe and sickened nearly 2,000, customers are swearing off lettuce, cucumbers and tomatoes just in case.
A massive data breach at Sony has left hackers exulting, customers steaming and security experts questioning why basic fixes haven't been made to the company's stricken cybersecurity program. Hackers say they managed to steal a massive trove of personal information from Sony Pictures' website using a basic technique which they claim shows how poorly the company guards its users' secrets.
The doctor who implanted 12 embryos inside Octomom before she conceived Octopus will have his license to practice medicine revoked next month. According to the Medical Board of California, Dr. Kamrava did not exercise sound judgment when he implanted the large number of embryos inside Nadia Suleiman. The Attorney General's office accused Dr. Kamrava of being grossly neglectful in his treatment. The Medical Board released a statement claiming that they are not assured that oversight through probation is enough and has determined that revocation of respondent's certificate is necessary to protect the public. American officials have long believed Osama bin Laden was hiding in a mountainous region along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, but for years there were no reports of his whereabouts. The trail appeared to have gone cold, and he survived all the attempts to capture or kill him.
One of the most recognizable faces of our time, Osama bin Laden, who inspired a generation of Islamic radicals. You wouldn't guess it on this early family snapshot. Relaxed, smiling, a typical teenager. No sign of what he will become. Osama bin Laden became increasingly disenchanted with what he viewed as the greed of the Saudi royal family. It was in Afghanistan that he found the cause fighting to drive out Soviet forces. Ironic now to think that they used to be supported by the CIA. By now, bin Laden's opposition to the Americans had already taken root. Living in Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden developed a network, providing training and guidance for the foot soldiers who turned his jihadist ideology into action. Al-Qaeda. In 1998, Osama bin Laden gave this interview to the American network ABC.
We believe that the worst thieves in the world today and the worst terrorists are the Americans. Nothing can stop them except perhaps retaliation in time. We don't have to differentiate between military or civilian. As far as we are concerned, they are all targets.
He meant every word. Al-Qaeda was blamed for bomb attacks in East Africa and against US warships in Yemen. But it was this that changed everything. 9/11. 3,000 people killed in a pre-planned coordinated attack on American soil. Osama bin Laden officially became top of American hit lists. When your children are surfing the web, do you know what they're up to? And even if you did know what sites they're on, would you understand them? Nowadays, more and more parents are signing up for social networks to keep tabs on their children and who they're talking to. Sarah Goodwins is an expert on blogging and the internet and advises parents and children on how to surf on the web. So is it your advice then, Sarah, that parents should be more up to date or that they should step back from technology and just ask their kids?
Well, I think that parents need to keep up to date, but by communicating with their children. So I think that they are not very familiar with the internet, and maybe they need some sort of tourist guide. And what I think is that these children can help these parents in this guidance of how the internet works, and probably snooping around behind your kids to see what they're up to is, for me, a kind of last resort thing to do when communication has broken down.
I guess children throughout all generations have always needed to keep secrets from their parents, and the idea that they might guide them willingly through the web is slightly unrealistic, isn't it?
Well, I think there are two things. There's the whole web, and then there is this keeping secrets part. So obviously, as you can say, kids have always kept secrets from their parents, and they always have a right to a certain amount of privacy, of course. But there are places on the internet just not private. I mean, kids often keep blogs, and not necessarily on Facebook, but on other sites as well. And they don't realize that that is a public space. So in that case, I think it is normal that they should be aware that their parents come and visit these blogs.
But isn't it a sort of natural response of parents to block certain sites or try and stop the children from entering? I mean, is this realistic and be worth it?
Well, I think that things like filters, for example, prevent accidents. So filters will prevent your 8-year-old from stumbling upon a porn site, for example, when he hadn't intended to. But these filters are not going to stop a teenager who is motivated and who is willing to find these sites. You want to keep away from them.
I mean, is the chat room scenario presumably what the parents are most worried about, that you don't know who is actually talking to a teenager, that they think it's another teenager while really it isn't?
Well, that actually is a kind of a fake problem, because the whole predators on the internet thing is really overblown. And actually, most cases of when a teenager is meeting adults and having affairs with them, in most of the cases actually, they knew they were talking to adults, and we only have a small percentage of cases where we have...
But you call it a fake problem, but it's still a problem, isn't it? I mean, kids meeting people online and going on dates, etc.
Well, it is, but it is not because the adult hid behind the nickname of a teenager and pretended to be somebody else. So the problem is a bit different than what people imagine in chat rooms.
Okay, I see. Thank you, Sarah, and thanks for coming.
Football players seem to be setting a new trend of dropping one championship trophies off their buses. After beating Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final, Real Madrid players partied on the streets of the Spanish capital on an open-top bus, and players took it in turns to show off the trophy. But the excitement got the better of defender Sergio Ramos, as he balanced the giant piece of silverware on his head. He lost his grip and accidentally dropped the cup beneath the wheels of the bus. The driver appeared to be unaware of the incident, driving on and crushing the trophy. Emergency services picked up the broken pieces of the cup and returned them to the team bus. Real Madrid won the Copa del Rey final after a 1-0 win over arch-rival Barcelona in extra time. Ajax football goalkeeper Maarten Stekelenburg and Jan Vertongen were also celebrating in an open-top bus for winning the Dutch championships against FC Twente. Ajax won the championship for the 30th time, but unfortunately for them, they did not notice the train wires in front of them. As a result, the Ajax goalkeeper dropped the cup on the ground. Luckily, there was only slight damage to the cup. Now we have the weather forecast in a minute, and of course that will be 100% accurate and provide all the details you could possibly want. This was this morning's show. Our next show is at 6 p.m. on this channel. Enjoy your day.